and hello everyone. Welcome to our monthly access space event. I'm Kristen from Polkadot. Let me introduce Polkadot firstly. And established in May 2019, Polkadot is the first and largest Polkadot community in China. Our mission is to garner widespread support to the Polkadot protocol, substrate framework, and Web3 through the engaging events, educational content, and a vibrant online community. We are grateful that uh, all the listeners and the guests could join us today. And each month, we invite insightful speakers from Polkadot ecosystem to discuss current hot topics. And today, we will delve into the discussion on DePIN project. In recent months, the DePIN sector has become a focal point due to its vast market potential and expansive capabilities. For Forecasts by Masari suggest that by 2028, DePIN could grow into a market worth 3.5 trillion, potentially drawing a significant user base to Web3. The Polkadot ecosystem's DePIN initiatives have made notable progress in this rapidly evolving sector. We are excited to have leading features from DePIN project as our speaker today, bringing a wealth of experience and insights. And today we also invite Justin from CIK as our co-host. Hi, Justin. Would you like to say hi to everybody first?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Kristen, thanks for having us on again. We're super happy to be here and super happy to be a part of this conversation. It's a good way to start the week off, and I'm definitely intrigued to hear more from our guests here today.
Okay, welcome, Justin. And for everyone who's joining our space today, and it would be great if you could retweet and share our space to our friends. And all right, without further ado, let's kick things off with a warm welcome to all our amazing guests today. We are thrilled to have you here. And how about we start with you guys giving us a quick introduction about yourself and your project are all about. So, how about we start with Marvin?
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone. My name is Marvin, and I'm the co-founder of Fala Network, which is a coprocessor for blockchains. So coprocessor works like how GPU help to deal with the task that CPU is not very good at, but you know can work together smoothly with CPU. So we treat like blockchains like CPU, and Fala itself runs as a computation cloud in off-chain as a GPU. So our goal is to we can work together with the blockchains, but we can deal with the jobs that blockchain is not good at, so that together we can build a more developer friendly block space. So and Fala was like founded 4 years ago, and together, I mean, our team's first choice is to use Substrate SDK and set up a computation network with SGX with a tokenomic that can incentivize like hardware providers to contribute their computation power to this network and earn rewards. And like 4 years ago, there's no so much like choice in the marketplace. So Polkadot SDK, which is the name is Substrate, is the most popular one. And it is the only one that can do the job. So yeah, this is basically about Fala. And when we build a thing, we don't know it's called DePIN. It's a kind of new concept in the space, but we know that it's a decentralized infra. Glad to share the experience. And again, thank you for having me, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Marvin. And Alex, would you like to introduce yourself and your project to our audience first?
Yes, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Also, from my side, a warm welcome. Thank you for joining in and taking the time to listen to these deep in focused spaces. My name is Alessandro De Carli, and I'm a co founder at Accurist. Um, Accurist, in a nutshell, is a virtual data center run by smartphones. So
Alice, I think you lost your connection.
Yeah, it dropped off for me as well. Alex, I don't know if you can hear us, but your microphone's dropped off there. I don't know if you want to try muting and unmuting yourself again.
Okay. Hello, Alice.
hello, everyone. Sorry for that. Uh,
Uh,
I
welcome back.
got got a little switch there. But I was saying, Actress basically is leveraging smartphones that we use every day as our trusted and tried companions to provide compute in a decentralized way. Because you see, the silicon that is inside smartphones is by 50x factor superior CPU compared to anything out there that you can find on the market, even compared to very high-end servers. So basically, what Accurus is doing is leveraging and transforming these smartphones into a computing unit for this decentralized network. It is as well a substrate-based um, parachain network, and it is geared towards developers that at the moment are using something like AWS, Google Cloud, or um, Microsoft's Azure. We do have, given that we are in the um, decentralized world as well, a couple of use cases on the Web3 side, but our focus definitely lives in enabling and giving to Web2 developers a platform that is cheaper, more secure, and in general, they get more performance out of that compared to decentralized versions. And we started the project about 3 years ago. It started as a verifiable compute project, leveraging the secure enclave of these mobile devices for use cases like oracles and so on and so forth. It is securing, as we speak, 50 million worth of value locked in a DeFi application, and that has been now also going to be increased by another 40 million by the end of this month. And that's Accurist in a nutshell.
Okay. Thanks for those introductions. It's clear that we've got a powerhouse of the talent and insights with us. And now, diving into the heart of our discussion, DePIN has been getting a lot of buzz lately, and I'm sure our audience, myself included, is eager to get a clear picture. Could you guys break down for us what exactly DePIN is and how it operates and why it is suddenly in the spotlight? And Marvin, would you like to kick it off?
Yeah, I can go first. So, um, yeah, I think DP is short for decentralized infrastructure, right? So, uh, like long words in short, I think like it is basically like economic system that whenever you provide physical hardwares or physical resources, it could be a computer for computation, it could be like like SSD for data storage, or it could be your like CDN network, like for for like decentralized CDN. But the basic concept of the DePIN is to like supply and demand and economic system for me. Like the based on the open access, anyone could provide any physical resources to the network or to the system, and to just to contribute, and the system will incentivize and distribute rewards based on these resources contribution, and use these resources for decentralization, as purpose, or like for like public good, or for expand Web3 space. So the benefits of such thing is to just bring more like offline or like Web 2 resources into Web 3, and expand the block space. I'm using the same word like about here is block space. So expand the block space of traditional identified blockchains. So for example, like 10 years ago, right? When Satoshi and the early stage, of Gavin and Vitalik, they never expect that like people can use decentralized mobiles for now. But now look at Helium, right? People are using decentralized hotspots, to make phones, and etc etc. So I just think like the concept of DePIN is a two ends market, demand end and supply end. In generally, the in the beginning, every project begins from the demand end. So how to incentivize your user to contribute physical hardware, physical resources to the network, and then try to just leverage the power of these physical resources to expand the block space of Web 3. And yeah, I think that's a big potential and beneficial to our Web 3 space. Yeah, this is my answer. I'm all good about it.
Oh, thank you, Marvin. And now I got a clear picture what DP looks like in my mind. And Alice, would you like to add your perspective or any fresh insights into the question? We are all ears.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I have to echo many of the things that have been said very nicely. I also believe that the disruptive power of DePIN comes out of the openness that people can basically, regardless of where they sit in the world, just join the network as either a consumer of the resources provided or as a provider of those resources. And the amazing thing is that for many use cases such as data collection, observations, and so on and so forth, a decentralized approach is way more efficient and way better suited than the centralized one. I mean, if you think about a Google Street View, for instance, where you have a centralized company that is collecting all of this data and has a couple of cars driving around, that's very good. You have a lot of value out of that. But the problem is that that value is kind of locked into a centralized party. That's one of the problems. But the other thing is as well, and I think this is often overlooked, you have a way better performance.
Looks like you dropped off again there, Alex. I don't know if you want to try and mute and unmute your mic again.
Sorry. Um, so what I was about to say is, Porca puttana.
Or it's clear
Yeah,
now.
yeah, sorry. I'm breaking off because, yeah, I'm currently in a conference location and the Wi-Fi is like super, yeah, crowded. But just to finish, what I was trying to say is that the cool thing is that you're able to offer a way better system for data collection compared to centralized parties. And if we now translate this to the compute case, I truly believe.
You cut out again there, Alex.
So
Was Alex in Denver?
yeah. Mm.
Hey, Alex, we're not getting you through. I don't know if you just want to drop.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no worries.
No, it's fine.
We can hear you again. No, it's cut out again.
How about we?
Alex, you can try and jump out of the space and you can try and rejoin. Sometimes it strengthens the connection when you jump back in.
I'll do that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think while Alice is doing the setup, how about we move to the next topic, and Marvin will start first, and once Alice finish his setup, he can join. He can come back and join our discussion. So, moving on, we have a DePIN. Uh, uh, we know DePIN is this huge umbrella covering various sectors, each crucial in its own right for decentralizing network infrastructure. It would be awesome if you guys could share what specific role your project plays within this ecosystem. Are there any application cases you could highlight? Let's start from Marvin.
Yeah, sure. Um, so like yeah, so the question itself is to like, is there any application cases I want to highlight for for the ecosystem?
And also you can details more about what specific role your project plays within this ecosystem, within the ecosystem, and also if there are some application cases you could highlight.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So yeah, from Fowler's perspective, I think we very specifically the challenge of how to provide secured proof, verifiable proof based on like off-chain computation results in an like security environment. So, for example, our project utilized the blockchain tags to create a confidential computation environment that ensure like data privacy while enabling the computation over data without exposing it. So this is like key feature of the technique itself. And in the past 2 3 years, we explored a lot of potential ideas and use cases in the space. But like now things are getting more clear for the major use case of Fala that we are very into provide co-processing functions for the EVM smart contract. So, like there are 20 or 30 L2s on Ethereum and blockchains in total. And users, it means that user and money are very distributed on, couple of dozens of chains. And it's a pain in the ass for developers because you need to make decisions which chain is your major hosting on and which chain is, you just need to cover the top chains which is your user base is. It's not an easy job. And our role is to provide like co-processors so that the developers can just easily migrate their user from one chain activity to another. And unlike bridge, it's not just like, hey, I'm going to transfer 10 Ethereum from the Ethereum into Polygon. It's not these type of cases, but it's more like, hey, Uniswap is hosting on a dozen chains. And it just announced the open access of governors. So, for example, Uniswap will distribute tokens based on your TVL or LP providers based on like multi-chain activities. And how does that happen, right? How it could work? Like how I can distribute Ethereum Uniswap token based on a tokenomic running on a dozen chains that require multi-chain smart contract migration. And this is the typical use case for Fala. And our target users are developers in Web3 space, the Solidity language builders. So they can just like use Fala to access data, any chain, from any chain, and compute, customize your program in off-chain, and then generated verifiable proof on blockchains. So this is the like key benefits if you're using Fala as a coprocessor for your smart contract. So this is our like highlight use case for now. And we are very focused on it because I believe no matter the future of DePIN, DID, or AI, this is a very basic function. It means that like just imagine an AI, right? An AI agent also need to be able run it need to read data from any chain. It need to calculate and compute based on LLM input in off-chain, and I need to access your on-chain, addresses as smart contracts to get a EOA authorization and migrate things. So yeah, no matter the future is kind of between Web3 or AI or gaming and AI or any other use case, social and AI, social and Web3, I believe co-processing is some key functionality. Like any of such use cases needs it. So yeah, this is our job for now.
Okay, thanks, Marvin, for sharing with us the co-processing infrastructure. And Alice, welcome back. So,
Yeah, thank you. I hope that this time, the third time is usually the lucky time, right? That's
yes, and yeah, I trust the lucky time. So you can continue your first topic. That is, give us a picture of what DePIN is, and how it functions, and why it is suddenly in the spotlight. And you can uh, add any fresh insights into the question after Marvin's perspective.
yeah, absolutely. So I don't know how much you got from the answer before, and I'm very sorry for the listeners because it is annoying if people drop out. But the thing that I think is important about DePIN is the openness and fact that anyone can participate, because this makes it just so much more powerful than centralized approaches. And I think that this whole sharing economy and crowdsourcing of physical infrastructure is ultimately what DePIN is about. And I think that, people can start with very small workloads, but it still becomes very, very relevant because maybe they're covering a part of the world that nobody else is covering if you have a DePIN sensor network. Now, why is DePIN becoming more and more relevant today? Quite frankly, I don't know. I mean, the topic and the name DePIN has been around already for 2 years. One could argue that the largest kind of DePIN network is the Bitcoin network, because it is basically people offering physical infrastructure to secure this very important ledger, global ledger. And I think it will not go away in relevance. Maybe it will at some point receive a new name, but I think it's interesting that now they have a name for this kind of sharing economy and platform. For Accurus itself, the current use cases that we see are at the moment live on Web3 projects. We do have a DeFi platform that is utilizing the Accurus network to provide data in a verifiable way. And that data is ultimately securing 50 million worth of assets, 50 million US dollars. Another neat use case that is now about to launch is actually a native Bitcoin bridge, if you want to call it a bridge, but it's basically a way for people to participate in all sorts of DeFi things through with their Bitcoins. That's another thing we're doing for a client. But ultimately, I believe that Accurus is not something where we should be limiting ourselves to the Web3 crowd. I think it's important to also cover the needs of Web3 developers, but I believe that it's more interesting to start really targeting the same developers that Amazon targets with their AWS Lambda offering, or a Google with their cloud functions. I think that's the people that we're after. And that's also the reason why developers that use Accurus can just basically migrate their workloads without necessarily having to change their code base. So we are not introducing any new smart contract languages or any new development languages. If you have an application that is written for Node.js, well, that application will also run on Accurus. And we're thinking that that's the way to go, and are super excited about building up this DePIN network that in the end is capable of computing with the currently largest data centers and data center providers in the world.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And now I will hand over the host to Justin to continue our conversation.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristen. And I'll start this question off. And I know a lot of these points have been hit on here and there throughout some of your guys' explanations already. However, while DePIN boasts numerous advantages such as enhanced resource efficiency, reduced costs, increased market transparency, its future relationship with centralized physical infrastructure networks incites curiosity and debate. Some might argue, I guess, and this is definitely coming from a centralized perspective, that it's just repackaging with lack of innovation, which is the route they generally go with this. However, we'd like to hear both of your guys' thoughts and sense of on this matter, and really boast, the what's in it for me factor for the users that can take advantage of this technology. Marvin, if you want to start off on this one.
Um, yeah. But could you just like highlight the question again? Sorry, I just kind of miss it.
Yeah, no worries. So essentially, it's just the argument of from I guess the centralized entities from centralized physical infrastructure, essentially is pointing out towards the decentralized aspect, lacking of innovation, just pretty much repackaging the product without lack of innovation moving forward. So if you guys really just want to boast the benefits, I know you've again hit on a lot of these points already, just about DePIN and really the further benefits that users would get out of it versus centralized entities.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think like an engineer, right? I mean, and just to get rid of all of the market feedback or the demand from the user end, this kind of narrative is a typical engineer-based thoughts. Like, yeah, I hear like a million of times, right? Blockchain is just a decentralized database. Oh, like smart contract is just a another version of TypeScript. And so yeah, I mean, decentralized infrastructure indeed is combined with centralized equipment in some way, right? It's just like for example, I can build like hotspot network if everyone download the app into their phones and provide their networkings, and it's just an app in somehow, and it's just the app will just upload and download by beats, based on some algorithm. And it's not a new thing. For example, like I think the very original DePIN project I'm using is BitTorrent, right? Where like downloading CDs, the films, the perms, you're using BitTorrent. And that is a very it's you need to install the application into your computer, and you need to just run it every day, right? But behind the service, the application itself is a P2P network. It's communicating with each other, and it runs computer resources and your CDN resources based on the handshake algorithm. So this is a very original concept of DePIN and even blockchains or even just a Bitcoin. And but like after Bitcoin been invented, I think everything begin to change a little bit. So it could looks like the same, but a major like difference here is that in the DP network, it should be open access. It should be like permissionless or trustless. So, for example, like anyone from anywhere, any place in the world should be able to use these resources like GPU, CD, and hotspot. So even I don't have an account or credit card, or I can't pass the KYC, or even I'm just a robot, right? I'm an AI agent on the network. I should be able to access any resources in these DPs. The argument here is the majority, or I would say it's not the argument. Sorry, guys. I would say it's a challenge, for DePIN project is your network really open access, right? Is it really permissionless? So I think if if you reach this benchmark, then yeah, I think just get rid of the the criticals because you're just very different from similar centralized infrastructures because like you're just open to use based on some specific rules. So my major critical on the current DePIN world is I think like most of the DePIN, many of the DePIN project, they're not like really like open access to contribute hardware or resources. For example, some projects you need to buy some specific equipment to provide your resources, and that is kind of I think that's a little bit tricky here. So true DP network should be like just at least your rules open and clear, and any equipment fit in the rules should be open to contribute their resources. And on the other hand, the way how people can use your resources should be also like permissionless. So for example, I am nobody, but I can just get on board to your network and begin to use it in 15 minutes. I think there's a principle in my mind to decline the difference between DPIN and CPIN. And I think DePIN project should get just keep ignoring the criticals from such tunes, because those people are not your target users. you should be very focused on the people who really need access, CDN network or distributed computer serverless computation, like without with principal openness and permissionless. So you need to find the target users who need these principles, and find them and scale them. So I guess this is my source. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marvin. Alex, do you have anything to expand on that topic?
I think Marvin covered many of the things that I believe are super important. So I think the answer was very good. I believe that accessibility is indeed one of the major innovation forces here, because on one hand, you're able to be more inclusive towards a bigger crowd, more people get access to that service. But another thing, and Marvin touched only briefly on it, is the idea that now we have more and more automation through AI coming up, and this AI somehow needs to start interacting with the services out there, right? And if the AI needs to do a KYC and go through those kind of things, it will never be able to just seamlessly start interacting with the offering that they have. So I think that's definitely a very interesting take on that, because it's accessible, yes, for more people, but then also for machines. Ultimately, I believe that where DePIN will really have a huge success is whenever they are able to reach better results than the centralized counterparties. I think if you take a look at the current centralized clouds, they're very, very expensive and not too transparent on how your bill is going to look like at the end of the month. But this, of course, means as well it's less accessible, right? Because not everyone can afford this super expensive service. Now, if you have an offering that is delivering the same level, if not better quality of that service at a way cheaper price, I think that's innovation enough for people to start using it. And we've seen what this kind of crowdsourcing models have as an effect. I mean, if we take a look at Airbnb, if we take a look at Uber, they, to some extent, okay, they were not built on Web3 technologies, but to some extent they are decentralized physical networks and also infrastructure, just not IT-related infrastructure, right? They are offering cars so that others can then book those, but they don't own any of those cars or any of those apartment hotels and so on and so forth. And yeah, we've seen the disruption that this kind of crowdsourcing idea can bring. And if you even build that on top of a unstoppable technology, then I think we will see even more disruption coming from that side. So that I'm super excited about it, I have to say.
Yeah, I agree. And like if you look at just a lot of things from a broader spectrum, the way people look at centralized entities right now, such as Google and all these other platforms that are just buying and selling people's information alone, and that's how people kind of are starting to look harder and harder at these entities. So it translates across the back into deeper technology as well. I fully agree there. And Uber, I think, is a good example to lead off of it. Now I'll transition this into the next question, because you did kind of hit on a point on some of the challenges there, but I'll drop it right back to you, Alex. And that's what DePIN is anticipated to usher a multitude of users into Web3. So what are the challenges that need to be addressed for it to broader adoption to essentially take place here?
I mean, in the end, people, so the best marketing that you can have is people talking about your product to their friends, family, and so on and so forth. and they will be willing to do that if onboarding is very, very easy, if they understand it. So I think there is a certainly an aspect of education behind it, because what is unknown is scary. So needs to be explained in a as simple as possible way so that people understand what they're actually doing. I think that's super important and often overlooked. But the other thing is as well, you need to put yourself in the shoes of whoever is onboarding, and they will not care too much about the tokens or whatever kind of incentive that they receive if they're not able to use that token or whatever kind of incentive in their everyday life for purchasing a useful service or something like that. And I think that's the other part that you really need to make sure that in the end people are able to yes, participate, but then also get something out of those rewards. And it does not need to be always money. I think it can be as well an incentive of belonging to a community that gives them a big advantage for one thing or another. I mean, think of it like, I don't know, a bird watching community that now all of a sudden you're able to get access to way more content than you would have been able to just doing so alone, and that's why you're interested in participating in this. I think this is what we would need to push for the ultimate adoption, because if it is then easy to onboard and you understand the ultimate value, it will just spread like wildfire, right? For Accurate, I mean, setting up a mobile device does not require you to be a Linux geek. You just take your phone, at the moment an Android phone, scan a QR code, and within 3 minutes you are already on the network and providing that specific device as a computing unit to the network. And I think we are not there yet. Like, I don't believe we are in the we're already in a perfect stage, but it is already quite enough for people to talk about it to their friends so that they onboard than other people. And I think that's ultimately where the adoption will come from. If the project and the product is simple enough to explain it to someone so that they understand and they don't have a fear of doing something wrong, and easy to onboard, I think, that's kind of the mix that allows you then to really scale this up.
No, I agree, especially with any onboarding process. The more seamless and better the process is, the better the user experience and the more likelihood they are to tell their friends about it. So that goes hand in hand. I'd love to pass this question over to Marvin if you have anything to add on it. I know a lot was gone in there, but if you think if there's anything you feel can compound on that needs to be added
Y-
into it before it
Yeah,
address your broader adoption.
yeah, definitely. Um, I mean we, we are not. I just want to share some experience, like where we didn't deal with very well at potential challenge for the new DePIN projects. So like crypto projects get used to talk big and begin from a big picture, like we want to cover everything decently. So the original vision of Fala Network is like, hey guys, we are a decentralized compute, right? Come and contribute your workers as JX servers, and we can provide function service functions. uh, it doesn't work very well. So the challenge here is to why decentralization, and we take years to find out, because yeah, I totally agree what Edison just goes through it, because while you're trying to onboarding your target users, sometimes A is not your target user. Like, you waste a lot of time to persuade people who are not interested using trustless infra. they just don't need that. And like we take this not like a good way in some time, because we think, hey, we are buddy, like they like us, we can onboard them. But the fact is, some enterprises or the CTOs, the CEOs are trying to onboarding this, they're not really interested. So we got nothing besides a partnership announcement. And so, yeah, the challenge A is that there will be more than 50% of the people who show interest not going to convert into your real user, and what they can just provide is a PR article release. That's it. And it means, just forget my language, but it means nothing to us, because it's just a meaningless. And challenge B is that it's very hard to find your target user and target use case unless you try many times. Even for Web3 space, it take, I think, 5 to 10 years for some project like Rwave to find a very solid use case, which is storage the metadata of NFT pictures, right? That's a very solid use case. So when you're talking about decentralized storage, there are 100 use cases people talking about, but the only thing, if you can verify on doing analytics, for the real use case, is storage NFT metadata. And now today we got more use cases, but like 2 years ago, it's just a storage NFT metadata. How it comes? So the project who can like find the solid use case, begin from small, narrow, user experience, can win the game. So begin from small, I think is very important, because even in Web3 space, uh, people really respect the value that the DePIN is providing. That's true. That's true. Like, if developers have enough cash and time, they will prefer to use, like a decentralized providers instead of centralized ones. But in the other hand, we should know that all of the Web3 enterprises and developers, they are startups, and they are fighting with the time. So they just need to ship stuff quick and, in just hours or days without. So if your product haven't provide something can solve their problem right away, or your product is just with a horrible experience, they won't use you. Like, even though you are decentralized and Amazon cloud is centralized, they won't use your stuff unless you find the use case, like, or the pain point from these offerings. Or you can just have a very smooth onboarding experience for anybody can have a try. I think this is the second challenge, how to onboard even the Web3 use cases, even though they are totally valued on the same principles we are offering. So I guess this is the historic previous experience we've been through this, and we are not dealing very well. I hope the new DePIN projects can skip that trap. Yeah, thanks.
No, absolutely. And thanks for that. And just to be conscious for time, again, we thank all of our audience for coming in today. It's been definitely a fantastic space. So if I can just ask you all to give a like, retweet, also be sure to give a follow to all of our guests and the projects they're part of. There's a lot of great stuff here, so you can keep in touch and keep following all the news and latest updates by just quitting and click follow there. So we'll move into the last question. And obviously it's 2024 here. It's a very pivotal year. It's already February 26th, which is wild to think. I feel like this year has totally just flew by. I don't know how you guys think. But we're definitely at a threshold right now. We have events like the Bitcoin halving coming up, and then you have the launch of Polkadot 2.0. We'd love to hear from our guests what their plans are to take advantage or moving forward in this huge pivotal year. We'll pass it over to Alex if you want to just dive further where you guys are at and where you guys are going.
I mean, for us, of course, as you all know, the whole crypto space is always going in cycles. I'm super excited about this year. It's also going to be the year that we are going to go live with our mainnet later this year. I think that's one of the ways how we yeah, time the market, if you can say so. The other thing is as well, you know, whenever you have a bad year for crypto, so to speak, a bearish year, it's a very good time to build, and now it's a very good time to show, and that's basically what our strategy is for this year, to really show the people that you have an alternative to centralized cloud providers, and you can deploy stuff on that. And I'm sure that with the momentum of the um, people being more aware about crypto and Web3 technologies and so on and so forth, you can amplify the growth and the speed of the growth. And I'm super excited about that.
Awesome, awesome. It's so exciting, Alex. And I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on you guys this year and see everything that's going on. I'll pass it over to Marvin. Would you like to share with the audience what you guys have in store for this pivotal year?
Yeah, we have like two major plans this year. The first thing is just find a product market fit as a coprocessor for blockchains, and help the EVM layer twos to be able to access data, compute, and generate stake proofs with whatever they need. And this is something like we are very focusing on right now. And the second thing on our roadmap is definitely like provide services for AI agents in the space as a autonomous way. So we think like AI agents should be able to just read and write as wish. So but there's a lot of like missing primitives here, and we are trying to fill the gap and providing useful off-chain services based on this. So yeah, long words in short, like L2's coprocessor and AI are our big thing in 2024. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marvin. I guess, again, Marvin, Alex, if you guys each want to let the audience know how they can get in contact with you guys too, if they want to reach out, have any questions.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thank you for having us as well. If you want to follow us on Twitter, of course, there is the @Accurist handle. If you happen to have a spare mobile phone lying around somewhere, please join as a processor. It's really, really easy. It takes 3 minutes. And I think that really is like a jump into the cold water and the world of Accurus. I think that's the best way to understand what it is that we're actually doing, and it helps us as well a lot, and would love to see you guys there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Marvin, did you just want to drop to the audience there how people can get in contact with you and your team?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Thank you for having me. And if you're interested in like off-chain computation, just follow my handler, and maybe follow Fala Network from my handler. And yeah, but again, thank you so much for Polkadot hosting this amazing AMA. Thank you.
Awesome. So thanks for answering all those questions. I'll pass the mic back over to our host, Kristen. And again, thanks from the SICK team, everyone. Again, we're happy to be a part of these conversations and especially further the conversation about decentralized, which is really the primary focus of the SICK Collective, is gathering teams together that are really focused on this initiative as well as community and education. So thanks again for having us on this chat, Kristen.
Yeah, I'd love to extend
Thank you. Bye.
No, I'd love to extend a huge thank you to all of our speakers for their insightful contributions, to every members of our audience for participating. A special thanks goes out to our co-host for his effort today as well. At Polkadot, we are committed to continuously hosting both online and offline events, producing high-quality content and educational videos to further evaluate Polkadot ecosystem. We encourage you all to follow all of today's guests and to keep an eye on Polkadot for more updates. And thank you all. Have a good day.
Bye. Have an amazing day.
Bye bye.